Is a former WWE champion leaving AEW? Plus, an AEW name is training for a comeback, and Cody Rhodes is teasing a major character change. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Somebody's gonna get their ass kicked. Somebody's gonna get their wig split. I tell you what, if they let this contract lapse, somebody's gonna get their ass kicked.
Mark Henry's contract is up with AEW very soon indeed. He signed with AEW back in 2021 at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Of course, that's where he debuted. But he's been doing things, and now it's time for your main event. I think has been the highlight of them. He obviously does things that aren't on the screen and whatnot, like in the community and that kind of thing, interviews and all that sort of stuff. But does he have much value to AEW today, Tom? That's the question.
I mean, he certainly keeps the conversation alive by going on to Busted Open Radio and complaining a lot about AEW. So there's certainly that. I don't think he's that bad, but I know that he obviously spends a lot of time doing stuff on Busted Open Radio and does a lot of stuff on the periphery of AEW. But we are seeing a few people who got signed to big contracts with AEW not be renewed as the company looks to tighten the belt a little bit going forward. And I don't know whether Mark Henry would. It depends on how big a role he is backstage. I can't see them keeping him around.
Yeah, you just don't hear of him doing things like. You just don't hear of him doing things. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to think of where the real value is in Mark Henry, unless he's just doing stuff that we don't hear about behind the scenes. But you would think you'd hear about that more often, wouldn't you? Because we do hear about names behind the scenes doing things.
He's a lot of charity work, mate. He's a lot to talk about. Now they've put him on commentary a few times. I seem to remember, it's burned into my memory. There was one episode of AEW Dark, and the commentary team was Mark Henry and Paul White, and it was abysmal. So they're lovely lads, but them two do commentary together. I go, no, thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mark Henry has been teasing a return to the ring for one more match. He has said in previous interviews he doesn't know what that would look like and what it would take to make that happen. And I mean, he's already in the Hall of Fame in WWE, so I don't know what. If you have one more match, maybe there, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he's lost a hell of a lot of weight, so you'd assume he'd move quite well. But then again, the last time I think we saw him on WWE TV was when he had that little stroller thing with Randy Orton, do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
And he had, I don't know if he just had surgery or something like that. So if he's fit and ready to go, let's go. I wouldn't mind seeing one more Mark Henry match.
Do you know what? Now you've reminded me of that. Yeah, we do need him to do one more thing in WWE because of the last image of the world's strongest man. Can't be him going past on a scooter and Randy Orton going, look at you on a scooter, and then him looking all sad about it. That can't be the last memory of Mark Henry on WWE television.
He got his match against Randy Orton. Orton will do a couple of things. Mark Henry, world's strongest slam. That's all you need to do. Just have a 5-minute match.
It would you say it would write itself?
It would write itself.
It would write itself. Yesterday, Tay Melo was on Twitter after a year off to both heal an injury into her back and become a mother. It looks like a return is on the card.
What, the baby came out the back?
Yeah. It was a fire exit, baby.
Anyway, she said, so happy to be able to be in the ring again. With a lot of patience, I'll get ready to be back. It's a whole new body, and I still feel weak inside. I got frustrated a couple of times, had to hold my tears and keep going. My body was my baby's home for 40 weeks, and now I'll get stronger, not just for me, but for her too. It's a long way to go, but I'm closer than yesterday.
The honesty in that is wonderful to hear, and we send all our love to Tay Melo. And it is like, because your body does take a shoe-in when you give birth. Not that I know, a father of none. I mean, there's a few food babies in here, but that's about it. But you know, having loved ones in my life who have brought new life into the world, your body does take a shoe-in from it, and to get back into the wrestling world is commendable, as Becky Lynch and others have done as well. But best of luck to Tay.
Yeah, she was running those ropes like Bron Breakker in that video that I saw on Twitter yesterday.
She looked good, didn't she?
Maybe not 23 miles an hour, but close. 21, 22, that sort of range.
She's catching up with him. Less good news for one other AEW star, according to PW Insider.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston obviously had that big big bang on his legs with Gabe Kidd very recently. And off the back of that, he's been reported that he suffered a tibial fracture while working for New Japan a few weeks ago in California. It's now been confirmed that he suffered tears to his ACL and meniscus as well, which will require surgery. While Kingston had been hoped to be back by AEW's All In London at the end of August, the post-surgery recovery will likely mean he's out for close to 9 months. If that timestamp be correct, Kingston would be out until January of next year.
Gutted for him. Speaking to PWInsider.com, Eddie Kingston commented, "This is part of the game. Injuries happen. I will be back." Best wishes to Eddie Kingston. I think just what a 12-month span it has been. The highest of highs to becoming a Triple Crown champion in AEW, to gradually losing those belts and now to suffer this injury as well. It's never an easy path with Eddie Kingston. It's either the highest of highs or the lowest of lows.
But that adds to his shtick, doesn't it? It's just he's the real one, isn't he? And we all go through these bollocks times in life, don't we, Tom?
He is the most real of ones, and we wish him a full and speedy recovery. It'd be a shame if we don't get him when AEW comes to London, but you got to be healthy for everything else. Cody Rhodes has been doing the interview rounds this week, interestingly, and part of that was on Busted Open Radio. He had a chat about his upcoming match with Logan Paul at King and Queen of the Ring, as well as the frantic WrestleMania 40 build, and also, this just kind of went under the radar a little bit. He gave a little intel into what The Rock put in his hand the night after WrestleMania. Remember when they did that thing where Rock gave him a little something and we didn't know what it was?
It was a gift that Rock gave back to Cody. That's what we saw. Cody said, "It wasn't $1. It was certainly more expensive than that. I tried to make a positive overture, an olive branch to The Rock and the Seven Bucks team because I have immense respect for what they've done. They set the table so that I can eat at it. He did not feel that was a positive overture and handed it back to me. That's the best I can give you. But I was pretty heart-stricken over the fact that it came back. Like Triple H told me, it's not fun and games for these guys. They're coming for you, and you either get ready or you don't." I thought it was the watch because he bought Rollins and other people a watch, didn't he? Cody Rhodes before WrestleMania.
Yes.
So I assumed it was the watch being given back.
So it was a watch being handed back.
Stick your watch up your ass. Turn it sideways and stick it up your tiny ass.
That should have been the night where Rock said, I'm going to now come true on all the things I've said over the years, where he does turn that zombie sideways and stick it straight up Cody's candy ass. That would have been lovely. He also talked about having Arn Anderson as a manager in AEW. Remember that time where Arn Anderson gave the top advice of, "You're a rubbish wrestler unless you shoot a man who cuts you up on the road"?
One of the best moments in AEW history to this day is where a feral Arn Anderson is living in the back garden of Cody Rhodes, and Cody just finds him there late at night,
burning his stuff.
Damn, Cody boy, what do I hear? Fantastic character, Arn Anderson in AEW.
It was a great time had by all, pulling out the Glock and leaving brains all over the road. Well done, Arn. So in doing something talking about Arn Anderson, Cody teased a bit of a major character change.
Yeah, he says, "One of the reasons I liked having Arn Anderson around was the same reason I would have loved to have had my dad around me. It was nice to have that voice in your ear. It was something I missed when Logan and I were doing his contract signing, to see him flanked by so many people. I don't know, maybe I'm looking for the classic wrestling manager to join me on this title reign. I don't know who that is or what that is, but it just felt like I wouldn't mind someone to holler the stuff that you just did."
Classic wrestling manager.
The word holler. Teddy Long, baby.
Come on down.
He was a manager in the 90s, wasn't he, for the Undertaker's tag team with that other big tall boy?
And Ice Train. He managed Ice Train on WCW, among others.
Maybe it's Scott Steiner ever been a manager? Just think of the word holler.
Kelly.
Yeah. Oh, that theme song. Oh, disgusting.
Brandy seems an obvious choice. It seems like a nice place to bring in Brandy Rose if they ever felt the need to.
I don't know if I want to see Brandy.
Classic wrestling manager?
Yeah.
No.
She probably is in her own mind.
Shooting cowboy, pulling out the Glock. Who else could it be? Robert Stone.
Who could it be? Seriously though, classic wrestling manager. I mean, take a pick from all the old WCW, NWA people who are still doing the rounds.
I mean, you could give Paul Ellering something to do other than standing next to Karrion Kross looking like a pirate.
Yeah,
that would be nice. Just you've got Paul Ellering, one of the greater managers of a decade, and he's just an ancillary character, just knocking about in the background. What are we doing?
From the Road Warrior pop to no pop. That's what he likes, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. The No Warrior pop. Paul Ellering would be fun.
Yeah.
He's got to be somebody with a bit of an old school vibe, innit?
Yeah. I don't know how long Arn's still contracted at AEW, but that would be the one, wouldn't it, to see the Glock?
Just to bring Arn in
They
again.
wouldn't do the Glockenderee, would they?
He'd do the Glockenspiel. Pull out the Glockenspiel and play Cody Rhodes' theme music. Talking of major character changes, you will remember a viral wrestling sensation from recent times that went under the name Blue Cane. Now Blue Pain for legal reasons. The unthinkable happened this past weekend, and Blue Pain was unmasked for the first time.
Stunning. Beautiful.
And he gave Cultaholic the exclusive first interview. So, get inside the unmasked mind of Blue Pain, including the origin of the character, which genuinely was a joke that got out of hand. They talked very openly about the 2 cease and desists from WWE and his feud with Matt Cardona in GCW, among other things. It's lovely to get to know the man behind Blue Pain, and you can too on the podcast feed right now. Plus, it's 9 Pitches Day.
Yeah, tonight is King and Queen of the Ring. Tomorrow is AEW Double or Nothing. Tomorrow is predictions. The day after is the other predictions. Just watch the channel. Pitches and predictions are coming up. It never stops.
Pitches, predictions, pitches, predictions, live reactions, WHA, WTF, WHA. It's all there for you, and it writes itself. And for the latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe.
I'm sorry to Brandy Rhodes for being such a bitch there. I didn't mean that. That was terribly tasteless. It wasn't tasteless. She just
Who told you it was open mic night, bitch?
Yeah, you might be a black belt, but I'm a...
He's a black belt in origami. Love you, bye.